This is Midnight Run on the Inside Edge Network. Here's your host, Anthony Alford.
You know what I have to do always when we start? I got to get the likes and retweets out, let people know that we are on the air. It is 12:01, and welcome to Midnight Run here on the Inside Edge Network. My name is Anthony Alford. You can call me Double A. So happy to have you guys with us. We got a Cavaliers victory to react to against the Detroit Pistons. There wasn't a blaring alarm or buzzard that went off for 15 minutes this go around. An epic performance. We got that to react to. What are the new expectations for the Cavaliers? We're going to talk a little bit more about Shedeur. I reflected back on the interview I had last night with Mac Robinson, personality over at 92.3 The Fan here in Cleveland. I got some thoughts from that interview from what I heard, and I think you got to, if this young man can take advantage of this opportunity, I think it's the best course of action that you have to take. Also, Miami 30-0. 30-0, Miami of Ohio. Is that enough? If they lose out, could they still make the tournament? Ooh, we got a lot to dive into. Now, listen, I know as an obligation to this show, this is a unhinged sports talk show at the midnight hour. Now, the Cavaliers have kind of let me down on the unhinged part because every time we do this show, they win. So I apologize to fans expecting the unhinged part of the commentary with the Cavaliers, but they have won every time we've done this show. So, oh, darn. And they have an easy schedule. So they may not lose another game while we're on the air until the playoffs. You want to really see unhinged, come back in mid-April. We'll see what happens. But I have come across a story that we have to lead off with. Typically, we do Dear Diary at the end of the show. We're going to do it at the beginning of the show. We're going to do it right now because this is dedicated. Matter of fact, before we do Dear Diary, you can pull up the graphic. I have to grab here my B.A. Sweeties popcorn. Remember the show yesterday? It was like up to here. Eli, this popcorn is basically gone. This popcorn, this is all that's left. This is it. Now, when we plug stuff on our show, whether it's B.A. Sweeties, they have phenomenal popcorn, classic candies, traditional candies, jelly beans, different types of sour candy, sweet candy, soda, stuff like that. We advertise it because we actually like the stuff that they provide. Like this popcorn, I know it's bad taste to eat while we're on the air. This popcorn smacks. You don't believe me? Go back and watch the show yesterday. Look how much popcorn I had yesterday, and look where it's at now. This popcorn smacks. So I like what I advertise here. By the way, Interstate 480, Ridge Road exit, make a left on Brook Park Road. You see a giant lollipop, head on up. B.A. Sweeties, Tom Double A, Anthony Alford sent you. Now, we got to play this for you. You're going to first see for the first few seconds the Burger King CEO. Absolutely, he tries his Whopper. That's his signature sandwich, and he loves it. After the first 10 seconds of this video, the other minute 15 is the McDonald's CEO. He goes by Chris K on his socials. He attempts to break down his signature sandwich, a sandwich that I don't think he has smelt or tasted since he has had that job at McDonald's, and you could tell you could tell when people don't like your food. Like you can't give it. It's hard to explain, but you could tell when people don't eat their food or don't like their food. So take a look at this video. This is courtesy of Burger King and McDonald's.
Not bad, right?
Only one thing missing, a napkin.
Chris K here with, you've heard about it, here it is, the Big Arch. This is something that we have tested already. It's in Portugal, Germany, Canada. I love this product. It is so good. I'm going to do a tasting right now, but I'm going to eat this for my lunch, just so you know. So here we go. First, holy cow. God, that is a big burger. We've got a very unique kind of sesame poppy sort of bun on it. We've got 2 quarter-pound patties, a delicious Big Arch sauce, and of course some lettuce. So, there's so much going on with this. First of all, let's try to get this thing, I don't even know how to attack it. Got so much to it. Oh, there's also some crispy onions on here as well. I see those kind of coming out. All right, the moment of truth. That is so good. That's a big bite for a Big Arch. It's distinctively McDonald's. Only McDonald's could do this type of burger, but it also is unlike anything else on our menu. It's a delicious product. You know, you've got sort of the cheeses and the gooiness, but those crispy onions as well gives a nice texture. And of course, we've got the pickles. So I'm going to enjoy the rest of my lunch, but Big Arch, try it when you can get it.
Bruh, what the hell was that? Or are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That you might as well have had an ant bite that sandwich. You can tell again when somebody despises their own food. I remember way back when you work in fast food, at some point after you're around it, you're like, man, I can't stand it. I can't stand it. You're not going to send somebody who hates their food. Oh, you know what? I got to try. I don't even know how to attack this thing. Every single person who loves a sandwich has no problem attacking a sandwich. That is the biggest load of garbage I've ever heard in my life. Especially if you're eating food at 12:08 at night, you know how to attack a sandwich. I know how to attack a taco. I know how to attack B.A. Sweetie's popcorn at 12:08 at night or 12:08 p.m. I have no problem. Dear Diary, can you tell me how to attack this sandwich? It's just a lot here. I don't know what it is. It's just a lot. You fraud. You fraud. Now, McDonald's is not a sponsor of this show. I am not here to prop up McDonald's. I would never buy that sandwich because that is a lot. But that CEO did not do a good job of convincing me to buy that sandwich ever. Eli, I told Eli about this story. He has no clue about this story until we played the video.
Yeah.
I don't know how to attack this sandwich. This is so much.
And he's like, the onions, they're falling out. I'm not an onions guy, so the onions could have been left off the burger. But they just, dude, we went to broadcasting school. We took video classes. They showed us how to properly present a burger and, make it look appealing. You saw the Burger King CEO. He just was very happy. Just very like, that's a good burger. And then you see McDonald's and AA. Come on, man. That was like the equivalent of like me trying to figure out how to eat an ice cream cone at Progressive Field when it was like 95 degrees the one time we went to the game. We were in standing room only. and the ice cream cone was just like melting all over me. That was like the equivalent there, except for it wasn't an ice cream cone. It was a burger that came in a properly packaged box. I don't know, pal.
At least you like the ice cream. I
did.
That guy, you could tell he was forced to do that. Oh, this might be a good PR thing. Like,
Yeah.
Eli, if you can't play the first test, watch the Burger King CEO go in on this Whopper. Look at this.
Not bad, right?
Only one thing missing, a napkin.
Chris K.
Oh, I lost you double A. Hold on. Oh, we need you. Yep, there you go.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad. He's like, you go in, listen, it's not even television presentation. A lot of influencers don't know television, but they know, okay, if you have a good sandwich, you got sauce around your mouth, you got things happening, and you go, I need to look presentable. I'm a professional. I need to clean up. I will admit something to you. For those who I can't understand the ones who review or do the food reviews in their car wearing all white.
Yeah, it's a rough move. It's a rough move. It's like showing up to a barbecue in all white.
How can you do that? We got to get Stephon Johnson. We got to get him on. We got to get him on because he's one of the guys who does this. How can you do a food review? Oh, I'm going to review this Philly cheesesteak. Yeah, a good cheesesteak. Just sauce, just And you, okay, fine. If you wear a black shirt, you get away with it.
Yeah.
You're trying to flex all white tee? Bruh. But that McDonald's CEO, he's just like, I don't know how to attack this sandwich. Unbelievable. Yeah. Let's talk about this Cavs victory. Cavs went today against the Detroit Pistons and 113-109. And actually, it wasn't even that close at the end. I know there was a couple of senseless turnovers at the end, but for the Cavaliers, and we talked about it on this show, the Cavaliers' best path to success, even though they don't have the reputation of being a big team, but the formula, you kind of seen it there. Utilize the paint. Early in the shot clock, that basketball has to be in the paint. And if you do that, you're going to find stats. I found something earlier. What you're going to see here doesn't make much sense here. We don't even have to take the graphics off. But just know that Jared Allen's on the top of this list. This is the player efficiency or the player impact estimate chart. And Jared Allen's on the top of this list for the month of February. Now, I have no clue what this chart means, but the fact that Jared Allen's on the top of this list over Kawhi Leonard, over Wembanyama, over Luka, over various other top stars in this league, I'll take it. And look, ever since we smacked around we talked about Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley has upped his game. Eli showed a second ago. Tyson, he had 22 points? Yep, 22 points. He was the leading scorer here. So you're seeing the operation. Now, the toughest thing we talked about with Evan Mobley, what happens when the new core four, all of them are playing at the same time. Donovan Mitchell, James Harden, Jared Allen, and Evan Mobley. I had Darius Garland in my mind. I think Darius Garland actually made his first appearance with the Clippers, I think today, but coming off the bench actually. But the Cavs are in a good spot, and they're off until Sunday. Now, Donovan Mitchell is somebody I am a little bit concerned about because it is March, and the injury history It is not favorable for Donovan Mitchell this time of the year. But in terms of the team and where you're at, man, you needed this. You needed this. And I was joking around. I'm like, okay, we really can't go unhinged on this show because when we come on the air, it's after a victory against the New York Knicks, a statement victory against the Knicks. It's coming away Friday, even though they were completely shorthanded, coming away Friday believing, hey, you know what, we could take Detroit in a best-of-7 series after Friday's game. And then today, I know the score was close, 113-109, but it felt like the Cavaliers were handling business at their pace the entire ball game. Yes, there was a little spurts, particularly in the second quarter with Detroit, but overall, this felt like Cleveland's game. And we could talk about, and we have, and we still will, talk about like the impact players and, you know, the priority list in terms of, you know, the important players, the important power players. But in my opinion, everything starts and stops with Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley making a couple, you know, making some critical 3-pointers as well. And then if you get them going in the paint, this is the key. You get them going in the paint, you get a Jalen Tyson going. Schroeder, you get him going. So Keon Ellis, you get all these guys going. So that's what makes the difference with this Cavaliers team. And look, listen, it feels good to finally be a bully to a team. The Knicks have punked us around for far too long. The Celtics have beat us up for far too long. The Pacers, when they were at full strength last year, they smacked us. It finally feels good to smack around a team and let it be Detroit. The number 1 seed, a Pistons team that for as successful of a regular season as they have had, we're finally smacking around JB Bickerstaff's team. We're finally smacking around a contender. I have no problem. Yes, you got to back it up. Absolutely. But I have no problem saying, you know what? These guys are scrubs. We're going to beat these guys. No problem. I like that. Finally. Some swag, some mental toughness. And mental toughness leads to physical toughness. Now, with that being said, as great as this win has been, the Cavaliers beating the Pistons, Cavaliers getting that rest. They got Boston on Sunday. And when I mean rest, I mean their next game is against Boston on Sunday. So now the Cavs better enjoy this break because starting Sunday, they have a game every other night for like a solid 2-week stretch, 2.5-week stretch. They play either every other night or back-to-back for like a solid 2.5 weeks. So enjoy this while you can. I wonder, is the pressure off of the Cavaliers? The answer is absolutely not. In fact, as Kendrick Perkins, our first take, explained, the pressure is squarely on the Cavs.
You off your block a little bit this morning, man. Yes. The fact that you said that the Denver Nuggets, a team that already has the NBA championship, is under the most pressure. They're not even close in that conversation, if you ask me, to be honest with you. And the team that's under the most pressure is the Cleveland Cavaliers. Is no other team that's under amount of pressure like those guys. Is no other player in the NBA that's under the amount of pressure like Donovan Mitchell. I'm one of these guys that is willing to argue with anybody that the Cavs has done more for Donovan Mitchell than they done for LeBron James. When it comes to surrounding him with the personnel and the bodies and firing coaches to put him in position to be successful. James Harden, it's pressure on him. Can he deliver? As a third option, because he's not even a second option on his team, it's going to be Evan Mobley. Is Evan Mobley going to fold again, or he's going to open up his level of physicality? Here's another thing. They fired J.B. Bickerstaff a couple of seasons ago. J.B. Bickerstaff is in the way of Cleveland Cavaliers with the best team in the Eastern Conference that have the best record in the NBA. The Cleveland Cavaliers better go out and compete and try to win a championship. There's no other team in the league that's under the pressure like the Cavs and Donovan Mitchell.
2 points to make, courtesy of ESPN at First Take, and that was Kendrick Perkins. 2 points to make. Obviously, that being taped earlier today, I'll say earlier today. I didn't go to sleep yet. So earlier today, that being taped. So that's why it was another reason why it was important to beat Detroit, because, again, you want to send a message because you don't want to – you don't want to lose to J.B. Bickerstaff in the playoffs. You let him go. That's unacceptable. And Dan Gilbert is from Detroit. Is from Michigan. The bad things are going to happen if you lose a playoff series to the Detroit Pistons. So from an organization standpoint, that's why it's so effing important. But the second point of this is critical, and we'll talk about this on the other side. There's a different type of pressure on the Cavaliers. There are different levels of pressure when you're talking about teams, right? In sports. There's normal pressure. There's, like the Detroit Pistons are going to have that first day of school type pressure. Going into the playoffs, number one seed. Oh, it's great to be here. Oh, crap. Teams are actually looking after us, right? Then there's like OKC, right? OKC has that, we could be a dynasty type of pressure. Right. And again, everybody's gunning after them. Then there's, hey, we're contenders type pressure, right? And then the Cavaliers right now are facing what I call a Josh Allen / Buffalo Bills type pressure. The pressure they're facing right now, the fact that Kendrick Perkins said what he said, and everybody else in the room is like, whatever, they're already going to lose. Let's talk about that on the other side of this break, because that mindset right there is the worst kind of pressure. And I actually believe Donovan Mitchell and Josh Allen is in the same category for a multitude of reasons from that standpoint. Anthony Alford here with you. This is Midnight Run here on the Inside Edge Network. Back after this.
This is Midnight Run on the Inside Edge Network. Here's your host, Anthony Alford.
Back on the show, Midnight Run. Anthony Alford back here with you until 1 a.m. following a huge Cavalier victory against the Detroit Pistons. And the general consensus, hey, everybody else could be good, but we're not bad either. But we talked about before the break, the Cavaliers are facing their own type of demons. And it's the worst kind of pressure. It's what I call the Buffalo Bills type of pressure. It's the automatic assumption by everybody else that you're going to lose. And they have to overcome that. And that's why beating the Knicks, beating the Pistons in this stretch here in the regular season with James Harden in the locker room, hopefully beating the Celtics on Sunday, beating some other top flight teams. We got the Sixers coming up as well. I know Philly lost by 40 against San Antonio. I know they lost by 40. But Joel Embiid will probably be back by the time we face them next week. So those are things you got to just flat out overcome. But the pressure, right? It's the reason why you see the same teams across multiple levels of sports win titles. I saw something earlier today. St. Ed's here locally out of Lakewood, Ohio. We know what they've done in football. They're absolute studs in wrestling here in Ohio. Their basketball program, they're all boys school. Their basketball program just advanced. They're going to face Minner on Saturday in the district championship. It's their 27th consecutive trip to the district final. 27 straight years, St. Ed's has made the district final their basketball team. There are certain teams that just have that culture. Now, we see it a ton with high school because the levels, alumni, things like that, those are different, right? College, you see that. In fact, on the football side, the logo I have here, they're in a conversation every year for national championship contention. It took Indiana pretty much 100 years. Imagine being in Indiana and you're trying to get football tickets and it's sold out. And yet your basketball team is fighting for their Selection Sunday lives. Like the basketball team is probably going to be in the first four. And nobody cares because the football team's dominating. But usually in the pros, there's the illusion that every team has a chance to win it all. Baseball, football, hockey, basketball. Every team has an opportunity to win it all. Yet the Cavaliers have the most pressure. Kendrick Perkins is not wrong. And just because others may not agree, Kendrick Perkins is spot on. There is a ton of pressure on the Cavaliers. And I think Josh Allen and Donovan Mitchell are in the same class from this standpoint. Both leaders of their teams, both beloved in the NFL and in the NBA. Both players, one of the best players in their sport. We always talk about, think of elite quarterbacks in the NFL. All right, Patrick Mahomes, this guy, Josh Allen, always in that conversation. And he's still, even with Drake May going to the Super Bowl, Josh Allen is still considered one of the elite quarterbacks in the NFL. If you had a ranking of Josh Allen or Sam Darnold, who just won the Super Bowl, almost everybody would say Josh Allen. I think 99 out of 100 people would say that Josh Allen is the better quarterback. Donovan Mitchell, same deal. Donovan Mitchell, one of the best players in the NBA, one of the most talented players in the NBA. But they're not the best players in the league. Josh Allen is not the best quarterback in the NFL. Donovan Mitchell's not the best player in the NBA. So you take that into account. Why is a Josh Allen-led team struggling to go to the Super Bowl? Same reason why a Donovan Mitchell-led team, whether it's here in Cleveland or in Utah, has struggled to get over the hump. When you're not the best player in the sport, you cannot overcome other various internal factors come postseason time. If you're the Cavaliers and you're Donovan Mitchell, you can't control if other players get hurt or other players don't show up in the playoffs. If Darius Garland's sudden day-to-day injury becomes, for all intents and purposes, a season-ending injury. Jared Allen not coming through in the playoffs. Evan Mobley not coming through in the playoffs. Donovan Mitchell, as great as he is not good enough to overcome all of that. Only superstar elite players can overcome all of that. Not just superstar, I should say superstar, because Donovan Mitchell is a superstar. Only elite GOATs can carry Sasha Pavlovich to the NBA Finals. Right? Josh Allen, same deal. It's not Josh Allen's fault that the overtime rules back in the day didn't dictate that both teams received the football in overtime. Josh Allen gave his team to go ahead score with 13 seconds left in regulation in the playoff game against the Chiefs. They were 13 seconds away from moving on in 2021. It's not Josh Allen's fault that their kicker missed in a critical moment. And I get it. Josh Allen did throw a critical interception in overtime against Denver, but it's not fully Josh Allen's fault that Buffalo gave up 30 points in a playoff game to Denver. And if you play revisionist history, boy, if they were able to beat Denver, it's pretty likely that they beat New England in the AFC Championship game. And perhaps, again, Seattle's a tough competition, but perhaps they finally overcome and they just play free and they win the Super Bowl. My point is this: Josh Allen, Donovan Mitchell, Buffalo Bills, Cleveland Cavaliers. Back in the day, in the late 80s and early 90s, kind of a coincidence, by the way, that the Buffalo Bills and the Cleveland Cavaliers in the late 80s and the early 90s both struggled to overcome that hump, even though they were top-level teams. Buffalo was fantastic, but they couldn't overcome the Super Bowl and the NFC rival. Cavaliers couldn't overcome Michael Jordan. And here in present day, Buffalo Bills can't overcome Patrick Mahomes or Sean Payton or whatever else is thrown their way. They cannot get to the Super Bowl. And we can't get past the second round. That's why today's victory against Detroit, I know it's just one game, but you got to tell yourself, you got to put in your minds that you're good enough to get past the second round. Because in my eyes, if the Cavs get past the second round, the rest of the playoffs is going to be easy for them. Conference finals, all they got to do is play ball. NBA Finals, all they got to do is play ball. The toughest round for them is round 1 and round 2 because of that simple, we don't believe you can win. I actually wrote it down. It's the nobody expects you to win because we haven't type of pressure. Hope the Cavaliers could overcome that. Let's transition over to football for a brief moment. We had Mac Robinson of 92.3 The Fan on yesterday, right here on Midnight Run, and he had this to say about the QB class in this 2026 NFL draft.
From what I was told in Indy, if you thought the media thought very low of the quarterbacks in this draft class, the NFL thinks worse. The NFL is extremely low on this quarterback class in particular. And so, I heard that Mendoza is probably going to be the only quarterback selected in the first round, outside of maybe trading in for the last couple of picks. But outside of that, there is very little interest in this quarterback group. And, it could be Ty Simpson being QB2. It could be Garrett Nussmeier. It could be Drew Aller being quarterback 2 after Fernando Mendoza. But it's a very steep drop-off, and there's a lot of bets on tools. But whether it be Drew Aller, obviously you have the up and down play, but he does have a ton of starts. And then also, too, with Ty Simpson, you saw the highs, and he obviously dealt with injuries the second half of the year, but he only has 12 starts. So, that's a very real concern that teams have. And so because of that, the rest of this quarterback class, teams are not high on this quarterback class at all.
It's not surprising, but to hear that insight, that's very telling. What the hell did I add to that clip? Yeah, that's right. That's right, Mac. That's very telling. That's very telling. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. No. Forgot the no. Courtesy of this show. We have Mac on. Dude, I'm slap happy right now. It's been a long day. Been a productive day, but a long day. But we've been getting after it. Mac brings up an interesting point, though. If the media is down, the NFL circles are like, bruh, this class right here. The NFL is at an interesting point. At a very interesting point, which I'll talk about right here. And this is why they need to have trust in Shedeur Sanders. If Shedeur Sanders can prove, now, again, Todd Monken is going to do his due diligence because there's a lot of pressure. You got to get things right. Absolutely, you got to get things right. You go utilize an open competition type situation. Again, I stand by that. What I predict is going to happen is Deshaun Watson is going to win the starting job for week 1. And because you want to find out that your car loan that you had on your Mercedes-Benz with an extensive Carfax history, you want to still find out if your car loan that you paid for 7-8 years is still worth it. The Tesla, we used the Tesla example. Deshaun Watson is the 2017 Tesla who's been through multiple owners and has a ton of undisclosed or known Carfax history. And the car owners still said, I want a Tesla. I'm going to buy it. You buy that Tesla. You're locked into the Tesla for 6 years. And you haven't been able to really, really drive it. You've had moments. But to really enjoy the Tesla hasn't happened. So I'm predicting Deshaun Watson, if he's good enough, if he's healthy enough, he's going to get that week 1 start. He's going to look good in training camp. This is when live action happens. And I predict that live action, Deshaun is going to look rusty. It's going to look like he hasn't played in 6 years. It's going to look rough. They'll probably give him a couple of weeks, and then Shedeur Sanders will step in week 3. Now, from that point, Shedeur Sanders is based on the weak draft class, and honestly, based on the weak free agency class, you got your quarterback in-house already. It's Shedeur Sanders. Give him a coaching staff with Todd Monken. Make it work. Make it work. We had extensive conversations yesterday about Anthony Richardson. From the sounds of it, I know Zach Jackson talked about it on The Athletic. They're going to kick the tires on Anthony Richardson. I'm not saying don't have conversations. You're not doing your job if you're not having conversations. I get that. And even if you do draft somebody late in the draft, just for, to bring in competition. I respect competition. But the best guy for the job is in-house already, and his name is Shedeur Sanders. Listen, I get it. You saw the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. But the highest of highs are very promising. They're workable. They're doable. You could do something with Shedeur. In a division, and Eli, come on the screen here for a second, because I got to break this science to you. Not to you, but I want you on the screen for this.
Yeah.
How many wins do you think it will take to win the AFC North?
Ooh, I'm going to say, with a healthy Joe Burrow, I'm going to say 11.
Okay. 11.
I'm going to say 10 or 11. 10 or 11. I could see a 10. 10 could do it.
10. 10 or 11. Are you really that far away from at least winning the AFC North? Listen. Right now on March 4th, in terms of the Browns, that question makes no effing sense. And you can say, dude, go to bed. I get it. I understand. I get it. And I wouldn't bet on it. How far away are you from 10 wins? If Shedeur Sanders, if you can make something work, you're putting pieces together with the offensive line. Maybe you do get an elite receiver with that 6th pick in the draft. How far away is 10 wins?
Yeah, I mean, it just depends who they put around Shedeur Sanders. We talked on prime time about, maybe just entertaining the idea of Kenneth Walker. They don't have a ton of cap space, but, Todd Monken had Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb here, a dual running back team tandem. And then he had Derrick Henry in Baltimore. So, just entertaining that idea. If the Browns are going to go out and be a go-getter, what exactly are they trying to do with Todd Monken? Are they trying to usher into the Brook Park era with him? Are they going to give him time, or are they trying to go win it right now? And I guess that we'll kind of know here in the next few weeks, AA, with the free agency and in the next few months with the draft. But I think one thing's for certain, Shedeur Sanders has shown moments of, okay, this can be the guy. And I think if you actually put some more talent, I guess if you just put more talent around him, I guess you'd be in a better spot.
He just needs more talent. He needs more talent and competent coaching. The competent coaching, I think you have already. You need more talent. That's it. You need more talent. Here's where things get nuts. And again, I hear. I'm like Randy Orton right now. I hear voices in my head, and the voices in my head are going crazy right now. Maybe because I'm slap happy at 12:44 at night. How far away is 10 wins? And here's why I say that. This QB class from the draft sucks, or in terms compared to future years, the years past, not very good. Anthony Richardson, Malik Willis, probably not happening. Costs too much money. Representation, or same age as Deshaun Watson. We've talked about that being at the death. Kyler Murray, I'll go out to start. We're the same height. The NFL is in a unique time period. You think baseball is in for a hard reset coming up in 2027. So is the NFL. The NFL in 2027, a lot of things are going to happen. you're going to get a new television contract where they're going to make a boatload of money. So there's going to be a lot more money available to teams in 2027. That quarterback class in the draft is going to be loaded in 2027. Loaded. What I'm saying is the NFL and almost everybody, you're going to hit a hard reset in 2027. So your best course of action is to stay the course in 2026. Stay the course. Deshaun Watson is off the books in 2027. He can't come off the books this year. And you don't have a better available option than Shedeur Sanders in-house. Right now, you don't have a better option. You just don't. So, what are you gonna? We're gonna do? We're gonna sit here and waste time, rather figuring out if Kyler Murray can play football in cold weather. We know he can't. We're gonna wait for Anthony Richardson to mature. Come on now. All right, let's break. When we come back, Miami of Ohio. They're 30-0. They're not in the tournament just yet. And because they're because they're in the pole position to win the MAC conference at the moment, we don't know if they're the last four in, first four out. We don't know. But we're heading into dangerous territory here. It's the story of March. It is the most important story of March. Miami of Ohio. Are we going to see a happy ending or a sad ending? We'll talk about it when we come back. I'm Midnight Run. First, AlleyRoseFragrances.com. AlleyRoseFragrances.com. You got to check them out. Again, the Sticker Doodle candle is on its way. You want your home to smell phenomenal, smell fresh, smell good. And also, pair it along with a body mist as well. You got a special someone at home or, whomever. It can be a gift too. Be a gift for your mom, whoever it may be. You got to get a special body mist, everything. That website's fantastic. It's AlleyRoseFragrances.com. And if you're a first-time customer, like I was because I'm no longer a first-time customer. But if you're a first-time customer, please use that promo code InsideEdge20. Imagine this. Quality, affordable products. Use the discount code, is even more affordable. InsideEdge20 is the promo code when you order. AlleyRoseFragrances.com. Longer burn time with the candles, healthier products, all that stuff. It's fantastic. Shout out to Allison. She makes these candles herself, live from her home. So every candle is going to come with excellent care and quality. Anthony Alford again for Alley Rose. Fragrances.com, our network sponsor at Inside Edge Network. Back to talk about Miami of Ohio in just a moment.
This is Midnight Run on the Inside Edge Network. Here's your host, Anthony Alford. This is Midnight Run on the Inside Edge Network. Here's your host, Anthony Alford.
So I don't mean to go inside baseball. Welcome back to Midnight Run. So I don't mean to go inside baseball here, but Eli and I, we text during the show. And Eli's like, okay, we want to do a hard out, which in our profession, that means that's the cutoff. Like, show's done at this point. This is the time we're going to break. You want to do a hard out at 1 o'clock or just row? And I said, dude, we're in today at 1 o'clock. And I will be sleeping at 1:10. I've realized that Eli, there's a club going up
on a Tuesday. Oh man. It might be time for you to go to bed here soon, pal.
Dude. I'm just saying, man. Listen. You ever been to a club on a Tuesday? I went once. Listen, I went once on a Tuesday. It was college exams, and you're going loopy. You're going nuts during the exams. And I went. We were all lost souls. You would think the Undertaker was just gonna pop in there, man. It was crazy times going down at Bowling Green. Just absolute craziness. I do advise. Oh my goodness. By the way, when's the last time I've been to a club? Man, I'm 34. That just hit me. That really just hit me at this point right now. When's the last time I've been to a club? I'm not a bar. This is a different conversation. I'm talking club. You know what? I went to a place down the street from our studios to this place down the street. And it's a lounge, right? It was a birthday dinner for my cousin. Birthday dinner. It's a Sunday afternoon. Wholesome, everything. My mom's, it's family, right? My mom and brother's there. It's a great time. Cool. Birthday. All of a sudden, I see a DJ walk in and set up the turntables. We got twerking going on. I'm sitting next to my mom. Are you kidding me right now? You kidding me? I'm trying to enjoy this. And this place has lamb chops. Lamb chops are great seasoning and stuff. I'm sitting here and I'm like, dude, I'm trying to enjoy this meat. I got that meat going on over there. What are we doing? Is that out of pocket? That's a little out of pocket. Let's play this Gary Parrish clip about Miami. Just roll it, courtesy of CBS.
Much. If they only lose one game before Selection Sunday, they should be in the NCAA tournament, and anybody arguing otherwise is expecting perfection, and that's not fair. If they lose 3, keep them out. I'm fine with it. At that point, you have tripped over yourself on the way to the finish line. You get what you get. But if they land on 2, say lose to Toledo and then lose in the MAC tournament title game, I still think they're in, and I know you'll have some numbers to justify leaving them out if you want, but right now, they didn't have the quadrant 1 opportunities. You don't get them in your league. They couldn't schedule them. They tried. So they're 0-0 in quadrant 1. There's nothing they can do about that. But they are perfect. 0 in the loss column. And I know nobody cares about quadrant 2 and quadrant 3, but they are 10-0 in quadrant 2 and quadrant 3. Guess who's not? Auburn. Auburn is 4-3 in quadrant 2 and quadrant 3. So we can't compare quadrant 1s because Miami doesn't have anything there. But we can compare the second quadrant and the third quadrant, and Miami is undefeated, and Auburn is 4-3. Let me be clear. Don't clip it too quick. I understand. It will. All quadrant 2 and quadrant 3 games are not the same. I understand if you dig in, you're going to see that the caliber teams Auburn was playing in those quadrants are different than the caliber teams that Miami's playing in the MAC. I got it. You can't tell me anything I don't know. I just don't care. When you are undefeated on March 3rd Unless you lose 3 games from this point forward, you belong in the NCAA tournament.
And now make that 2 because that's courtesy of CBS. That clip aired before that Toledo-Miami game earlier tonight. Miami won. They are 30-0. And I'll tell you what, this is the story of March. The story of March, and probably the number one story in all of sports right now. Miami of Ohio, the Mid-American Conference, who I believe has not had multiple bids in the tournament in over 30 years. So this is going to be a story. Now, here's where things will get tricky. There is I'm going to joke and say Bowling Green, but I'm going to be kind of serious here for a second. There is another legitimate contender in the MAC conference that actually could beat Miami. It's Akron. Akron right now is 25-5 at last check, and it's going to be a collision course between Miami and Akron, probably in the final of the MAC tournament right here in Cleveland. There is a strong chance Miami could lose that game. Akron is a very good basketball team. If I had to pick, I would pick Miami, but Akron is a very good basketball team. If Akron defeats Miami, do you take Miami out of the tournament? I will hope the answer is no. Some of the metrics are not favorable. But the problem is, as they said, we're talking about like their strafe of schedules in the 300s compared to other Division I competition. There might be a conversation between Miami of Ohio and Ohio State in there. Although Ohio State did beat Purdue, which helped Eli. They did beat Purdue. So they're no longer in that first 4 in. They moved up a little bit, but I don't know. I'm not settled on whether or not Miami's going to have a happy ending or a sad ending to their season. In order to assure, they may have to run the table and win it all. My fear is that if they lose to Akron in the MAC championship tournament final next Saturday night, I'm very curious to see how the committee will rule that, even if it's a close game. I'm very curious to see how they will rule that. All right, that will do it. Eli did a great job. Everyone here on the Inside Edge Network did a great job. Thank you again to everyone for tuning in. We're back tomorrow. Again, remember, start your night with Inside Edge prime time at 10 o'clock with Eli Moon and Chad Bryan. And they'll have a special guest coming up tomorrow night as well. And I'll be on at midnight for Midnight Run at midnight. All right, it's time for bed. Go to bed, guys. Why are you guys still up? What are you doing? What are you doing? Don't you have to work tomorrow? Why are you still up? Why are you playing video? You got San Andreas. Go to bed. We're done. Good night.